Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Entertainment Hour here on the Coast to Coast Network. My name is Dragon Viper, alongside my co-host, Chris P. Bacon. How are you doing today, Chris?
Doing good, Dragon Viper. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, just got off work a little bit ago and ready to do the show. So, now I mentioned it. I'm going to get right into it. I mentioned it last week that we were going to go ahead and do a music episode today, and because it's considered part of entertainment is music, so we're going to go ahead with that. Now my question is, Chris, you look at music from 30, 40, 50 years ago,
Right.
and I don't know about you, but I think it's definitely changed.
It's definitely changed, yeah.
I mean, you look at the genres, you look at you look at everything, and genres, the style. Country isn't country anymore. I consider a collaboration between kind of pop and a little rock with country. So it's definitely not country anymore. And then, of course, you add on a few extra types of genres, and you get what music is now. And
right,
I look at it as back in the 60s, especially the 70s and 80s, even the 90s, they had some great country music. They had great music altogether. I'm into rap and everything else too, and it was even better back then. I sit here and I've been looking at all these rap singers' names and just the way they have their songs, and it's ridiculous. I'm sticking with my 80s and 90s pretty much.
yeah. That's when music was a little bit better than than it is now.
Yeah,
I think.
The early 2000s had a few good songs, but I'm just not really digging the whole music nowadays. So
Right.
anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna talk about an actor, actress, and a band, and these are all random. These are all not in the same genre. They're not even in the same. Well, two of them are pretty much in the same year, but different genres. And then we'll go from there. And at the end of the show, before we end this, there will be an announcement that needs to be made. So we'll get to that later on. But anyway, so we're going to talk about the male singer, and it's going to be Prince. I see Prince as an enigma. He goes and has his name Prince, and then he changes it to a symbol, and then of course nobody could pronounce that symbol, so he goes to the artist formerly known as Prince, and it's just like the guy was confusing people. The guy was confusing all around. And he has 97 known single songs out there, but here's the thing: there's like 500 to 1,000 unknown songs. He's got, from what I read, he's got a vault full of unreleased songs that could go on forever. And I'll get to that here in a minute under his facts, but his real name is Prince Rogers Nelson. He was born June 7th of 58, died April 21st of 16 by an accidental OD. Which, I mean, it's sad, you know, when stars go like that. And we have a comment by Lou Boo. Well, Boo back.
I'm not sure if she's a fan of Prince, but
yeah.
Prince was good.
You know, he did have a few good songs. I mean, although I didn't realize how short he was. I had no idea. He was 5'3".
Wow.
I had no idea he was 5'3". I could have thought he was, you know, 5'7", but not 5'3". Lou says I'm an 80s brat and says, of course I love Prince. So she could be interested in this topic here.
Right.
But yeah, no, I had no idea he was that short. Here's the top 10 list of top 10 songs. Lou, this is live. What do you expect? Anyway, Lou says he was 5'7" with those shoes on. Yeah, he definitely was.
See that. No, I know. I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
He had what was it? He had some shoes that definitely helped him. Brandon says Prince was a great high school basketball player. Yeah,
I've heard that.
I read it, but I didn't put that down. But yeah, I did read that too.
And I think they have a mural at where the Vikings play, like of him, because he grew up in Minnesota, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's a Minnesotan, like one of our people that are supposed to be on here. Mr. Big B. Anyways, yeah, he's Minnesotan. If I said that right. But anyway, so here's the top 10. Number 10 is The Beautiful Ones. Number 9 is Raspberry Beret. Number 8 is Darling Nikki. Number 7 is Kiss. Number 6 is Lil Red Corvette. Number 5 is 1999. Number 4 is Sign of the Times. Number 3, Let's Go Crazy. Number 2, When Doves Cry. And number 1 is, deservedly so, Purple Rain.
Okay, because we were saying it better be number 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was number 1, which, you know, when I was going through this list, it definitely, I was glad to see it number 1. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Brandon Herrera says, I will be on shortly. That's awesome. Lou says, you know, I'm good. Yeah. That was a good guess.
You were.
So anyway, and I mean, do you agree especially with number 1? Do you agree with that?
Number 2 and number 1, I agree with, and I'm sure I've heard a lot of his songs. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but
yeah, I've heard several of those, and you know, I see number 5, which is 1999. I see it number 3. And then the rest of it could be where they're at. But other than that, those 3. Anyway, so here's some facts about him. He was actually known to start the careers of Carmen Electra and others, which I had no idea. I thought Carmen was about her age or about his age, and you know, and all that. But I guess he helped start her career. He had, and you know, here's about his height. You know, he had to wear large shoes on stage so he wasn't dwarfed by some female singers. So I thought that was funny. I mean, I don't blame him, to be honest. I kind of would. I would kind of get intimidated as well if a bunch of females were taller than I was. So, but I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so I don't really have that issue very much. Let's see, and he was known as one of the actor, or I'm trying to think of how to pronounce or say this. He was one of a few actors, there you go, to direct himself and be known as the worst actor. So
Really?
he was in, I think it was in Purple Rain, and
Yeah.
he directed it, and he just did a terrible job in it. So, and Lou says the man was a genius. Yeah, I mean, he was good. I mean, he like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I mean, he had 500 to 1,000 unknown singles out there that's locked up in his vault. So, I mean,
It just depends on if the family wants to release them, though.
well, and that's what I'm going to get to here in a minute in these facts. He wrote, produced, and composed all of his music himself. So what he did, was on his music, he did it himself. On most albums, you can find him playing all the instruments by himself, and except for the brass instruments, he wasn't interested in those. And he had a backing band for concerts, because obviously, on concerts you can't really play all the, instruments by yourself at that point.
I don't know. Well, yeah, back then, but I think it was Ed Sheeran, like on a kickoff party. He pushed like one button and the whole, like, if his band was out there, it performed or something. I don't know. It was kind of different, but
yeah. Lou says he wrote "Nothing Compares to You" for Sinead O'Connor. He did. Krista, thank you for watching. Says his nickname as a kid was Skipper. I actually didn't see that one, so that's good to know. And then in 2005, his doctor wanted him to have a hip replacement surgery because of years of his energetic dancing on stage.
But then he decided to play the Super Bowl.
Yep, he played the Super Bowl instead. I don't know. It didn't say, but I don't know if he actually got that surgery or not.
Right.
And then now here's an interesting thing here. He was actually supposed to duet with Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to duet with him for the song "Bad," but at first he couldn't decide on what lyrics he wanted to sing for the song. And then, when the lyrics were done and everything was finalized, and he was going to do it, he saw what the lyrics were in the first line, or the first couple lines of the lyrics in the song. He didn't like it. He didn't care for it, so he dropped out. So it would have been interesting to hear a duet with him and Michael Jackson both singing the song. And Lou says the only man that can wear more makeup than any woman and still take her home. Yeah, I believe it. Let's see, and he credited his epilepsy, because he ended up with epilepsy. I believe it was in his teens. But he credits his epilepsy to motivate him to be a performer, which not a lot of, people are starting to come out and mention, mental health issues, certain
Right.
health conditions. But not a lot of people have come out and said they credit that, their epilepsy is what motivated them to be a performer.
What's up, Big B?
What's
Huh?
up, guys? The voice of reason is here.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Going good. So you guys are just finishing up with Prince?
Yeah, I got a few more or a couple more on here, and then
Okay.
he's here's what I was talking about his unreleased music. Has enough unreleased music in his vault to fill albums for the next century. Since there was no will for him when he died, it's unlikely any of it will even make it to public. So, which,
I think it will. It'll just take a lot of time, but I think it will.
well, he's only been gone, over 5 years, over 5 years. So, I mean, if it does happen, it'll take some time. And then Krista says he had a son. Hold on, I had something come up. He had a son in 96, but he died 1 week after birth. Yeah, I did read about that. His son had I think it was a heart defect or something, but yeah, his son didn't wasn't alive very long. And then the last thing on him that I have is his estate is currently worth $300 million.
Oh wow!
So he's not one of those performers that aren't worth much. So, anyway, do you or Big B have anything else to say about him? I mean, I know.
Well, his estate that you just talked about there, Randy, they're trying to make it into his people, his publicists, his lawyers, family. They're trying to make it into a little Graceland, so they want it to be a tour attraction. I heard you guys talk about his top 10 list, and yeah, if Purple Rain wasn't number one, then you could just throw that right out the window, because that's, a movie, a song, everybody that comes to Minnesota outside of like Prince, they always do that song to honor him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Darius Rucker does it quite a bit when he comes to Minnesota. They'll do it in respect to him. And outside of Prince, I've heard some other people do Purple Rain. Outside of Prince, Darius Rucker probably nails it the best. So, and then, one thing you guys, that a lot of people don't know is the few people I know that has some kind of connection, through jobs I've worked with. Mm-hmm. Prince liked to be the celebrity, but he didn't want to be known outside of, concerts and stuff. He didn't want to, he didn't want people to see him in public, so he was kind of shy, but yet when he was performing, he loved that stardom. And I think it was like a month before he passed, they were about ready to sign the contract for him to be the Super Bowl act. He was going, Super Bowl, but he was going to have the first concert at US Bank Stadium when it opened up. He was about ready to sign first concert there before the football season started. Yeah, so, him passing was a big blow. And if you guys go and, kind of research the movie Purple Rain, which was shot 100% in Minnesota, I'll say 90%, but I'm pretty sure the whole thing was shot in Minnesota. And then if you guys come to visit Minnesota and go to look at those, totally 100% different. I think the place that the club is still there, First Avenue Club, but everything else around it is totally, you wouldn't even know it was the movie scene for Purple Rain.
Wow.
Now, wasn't his dad?
His dad was a jazz singer.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
wasn't nice to him. We'll just say that. I heard about that.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard, yeah, he's had some family issues growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that one of my aunts or uncles, I think, went to school with Prince. So that's,
Wow.
he would always talk. Yeah, he would always talk about how good of a basketball player he was. And then, when Prince passed away, everybody was, sending out their tributes and, sorry, lost an icon. One thing I learned in my own family is one of my cousins was a very huge Prince fan, which I did not know that. I would not know in talking to him, and, he just wrote like an essay on what Prince meant to him and, and how it was nice to get to see him perform in concert. And then he was at a club downtown, and Prince happened to just show up and took over the house band and started jamming out to his own stuff. So,
Wow.
that's kind of the pull. That's kind of the pull Prince had in Minnesota, where, no matter what club it was, if Prince came in and said he wanted to play, they were going to let him play. How can you say no to Prince? I mean,
Exactly.
and that's one thing. And that's one thing I heard too. I think Jimmy Jam or some high producer talked about it. How Prince would make a lot of donations, not in his name, but he would make them anonymous, and so people that started coming out. Past there was a big donation to. There was a music club or something started in L.A. I think Magic Johnson started it or something. And there was a big donation, and nobody knows where this big donation came from. And I believe it was Jimmy Jam that kind of hinted that Prince probably sent it. So,
Wow.
he did his best to give back to, the city of Minnesota or the state of Minnesota, and music-oriented schools. So,
Wow. Yeah, you heard it first, people. This is a guy from Minnesota and knows a lot about it. So,
yep. Hey, when Prince passed away, you know who else passed away that same day?
who?
China.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, WWE's China. Yeah. I
Yeah, just a
remember
little
that.
side note. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
So-
I do remember that.
And I was, when people say you remember certain things in life, where you were and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the Minnesota Zoo with my family when I got the message that Prince passed away.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, that day was crazy. I'll remember that day. That was a really wild day.
And then Krista says it was from his son died from a rare defect of the skull.
Yeah.
So that's how he died.
Yep.
And then Lou says, Randy, did you get a haircut? Obviously not. It was just back out my way.
Oh,
so.
you got a bigger forehead though, I see.
Oh, yeah. Keep it up. You're just jealous.
Well, I got a bigger forehead than you do.
You're just jealous of my hair.
Oh, you're trying to grow it out like Matt Riddle. So
No. Anyways, moving on. Well, is there anything else? Is there anything else?
No, I mean, Prince was definitely a good one, and a lot of entertainers today. I know Justin Timberlake credits Prince for his success, and he did that big tribute to him at the Super Bowl, and so no, I think starting off entertainment music with Prince was a great choice.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go to Miley Cyrus, and I'm hoping the viewer that wanted Miley Cyrus is still watching.
We have a viewer that wanted Miley Cyrus?
Yes.
So Miley Cyrus has at least one fan. All right.
I don't know if she was doing it for a joke or what, but yep. Chris is still on here saying, yeah, my girl. Anyway,
Well, she's got one fan.
all right. Chris says I like her. She's crazy like me. Well,
okay. Maybe
anyway.
she's your evil. Maybe she's your evil twin then, or something like that. Spiritual twin.
From different states, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Anyway, so Miley Cyrus, she has 78 songs out there total.
77 more than I knew of.
That's been released anyway. She was born as Destiny Hope Cyrus. November 23rd of 92. Her name was changed to Miley Ray Cyrus on January of 08. Because she was Miley because her parents nicknamed her Smiley, and then of course the S dropped off, so it ended up being Miley. When they named her Destiny Hope, they named her because their parents, Billy Ray and his wife hoped that she would achieve greatness, so they made that name. It was changed to Miley, and then Ray is she changed her middle name to Ray after her grandfather, whose middle name was Ray. So,
okay. First, I gotta say, I think Destiny was a great name. That's a great singer name. I don't know why she changed it to Miley, but
it's like I said, because
I get why they did it, but I'm just saying, I think Destiny's more eye appealing than Miley.
Yeah,
sounds like a dog.
I got
you, Miley. Oh, back to Miley.
Sounds like a dog name, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so her top 10. Number 10, Mother's Daughter. Number 9, Malibu. Number 8, Slide Away. Number 7, Seven Things. Number 6, Can't Be Tamed. No surprise. Number 5, Wrecking Ball.
I forgot she sang that song.
I didn't. I'm still hearing it.
Okay, so I know 2 Miley Cyrus songs.
Number 4, We Can't Stop. Number 3, See You Again. Number 2, Party in the USA. And number 1, which this is one I do like from her, and it's The Climb.
What?
I do like that song from her.
They don't have Ready, Set, Go on there?
I know. I like that song too.
That is I will admit, small what's the craving of mine? Not craving, but I forgot the word I'm thinking of. Ready, Set, Go with her and her dad was a classic.
Yeah, Ray Set, Don't Go.
That's the only other song I knew of hers. So
it was like number 2 on my. If we were to have a list, it would have been number 2.
Oh, it would have been my 1 and 10 through 10. So
1 through 10.
They
The Climb would have been
any songs from her show.
Huh?
They didn't include any songs from her show back then.
When
she was on Disney.
No, but The Climb was actually on her movie. So, the Hannah Montana movie.
Okay.
But no, I like 2 major songs of hers, and that's The Climb and Ray Said Don't Go, and it's just it breaks my heart every time I hear it. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
So her favorite song of all time is none other than her dad's song "Achy Breaky Heart."
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
That was a good song. I like that one.
But it's I'm gonna play Simon Cowell, from what some people like to call me on another show. That song is well overplayed. That song.
Well,
is-
no, you're right on that.
You're
I mean,
right.
it is well
Yeah.
overplayed, but back in early '90s, late '80s when that song came out, that was the music song of the year. I mean, it had its own line dance, and and I'm actually kind of surprised she actually picked that song. I figured she would have picked something from Dolly Parton, but
yeah, exactly. Dolly Parton or another song from her dad. But
okay, can you name another song from her dad?
yep, a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Well, we'll get into that in
All-
another show.
Some gave all.
Some Game All is a good one. I will give you that, but
In the Heart of a Woman. So I can list several because he's one of my
Okay.
favorites.
okay.
Yeah. Krista comments and says Butterfly Fly Away was a good one with her and her dad too.
Oh, I didn't know
And-
they did two songs together. I'll have to listen to that other one.
Yeah, that one's from the Hannah Montana movie. Don't ask me how
okay.
I know.
Because we know it's one of your favorites.
and then Krista says, "Hey, she likes Dolly Parton too." Yeah. And
Well-
then
She better like Dolly Parton.
that's her godmother.
That's what I was just gonna say. She better like her.
I actually had that written down, but yeah, that's her godmother is Dolly Parton. And then let's see, as of 07, that was written down, she had never taken formal singing lessons. Well, some, you can kind of tell, honestly, but
Ouch.
and then she actually auditioned for Hannah Montana at the age of 11, and her original part in the show was going to be Hannah's best friend, Lily. So I don't know how well that would have worked out, but
Well, it still worked out. It's just she got the main role. So I mean,
yeah. Krista says you're her secret fan, Rand. I don't know who Randolph is, but I'm not her secret fan. That's almost like Big B saying that I'm obsessed with Matt Riddle on wrestling. That's
Oh, we know you are.
yeah.
Let's see. Miley has, and I don't know if I can pronounce this right, but tachycardia.
Oh,
Since
she has tacky stuff, no doubt about that.
since she was a teen, which for those that don't know, it's a condition where her heart rate goes, too fast for no reason. So,
Oh, okay, I'll take back my tacky joke then. I don't want to offend anybody.
And that, I mean, that's pretty much all I have of her. I mean, she's already been married once and divorced. She isn't how she was.
How old is she?
Younger. Huh?
How old is she?
She is 30. She'll be 30 this year or this month.
Okay. She would have. I know people change their styles and stuff, but I think a lot of people would have more respect for her if she didn't go all crazy and nutty, and she was that sweet little girl that we first saw on Hannah Montana, Dancing with the Stars, when she heard her dancing that song. I think if she would have stayed like that, I think we would have had a more popular Miley Cyrus than we do now.
She's 28.
20? No, that's wrong. Because
No.
she was born in 92.
Right.
So
In
that would
November.
make her 30 because
No,
you're
28.
right, 29. She'll be 29.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
She'll
off
be
a year.
29 this year. Yeah.
This month, yeah.
You're wrong.
We're both wrong. Anyways, but yeah, and it's all because people would not break her of this Hannah Montana thing, so that's why she went psycho.
Exactly.
And decided to do whatever.
You are right there, Andy. You know, some people just get stuck in that one role, that one.
Part they're known for.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well, look
you know,
at Britney
people
Spears.
like, you know, yeah.
Look at
Well,
Britney
Brittany,
Spears.
I think had. Brittany, I think, had a little bit more. Yeah, I think she had more of her family life that was kind of distracting her than her singing career and stuff like that. But that she's for another day. So
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, and Krista says, "Hey, you forgot to say don't do drugs." Yes, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay, so
Yeah, don't do drugs.
But that's all I've got on.
Don't do Tide Pods. Don't do challenges we're doing. I mean,
Don't do any TikTok challenges. We'll just say that.
yeah,
yes,
don't do any
there you go.
YouTube or TikTok challenges there. All right. Well, does anybody have
public address announcements for the day?
There you
Huh?
go.
I said that's our public address announcement for the day.
Yeah. Well, I am a son of a former DARE officer, so I don't do drugs. But anyway, so is there anything else on her that we want to discuss before we move on?
No, I just, like I said, I think I would have been, as a guy that likes all music, I think I would have been more apt to like her more and maybe more of her songs and been willing to listen to more of her songs if she didn't take a hard left and go the way she is now. Like I said,
Yeah,
Ready, Set, Don't Go is a great song, and I love them both, so I would have been more apt to listen to more of her stuff, but, she just kind of turned me off just by the way she, and not granted, I know she's watching and could care less what I think of her, but,
I don't know. She was better before, and she is crazy, and crazy people are fun. I'm not gonna deny that. Crazy people are fun in a way, but in another way, I don't know. It depends on the day, I guess.
Exactly.
But all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next, which would be our band. Krista says everyone has their own opinions, no judgment here.
Oh yeah, there's definitely no judgment. Anybody that's a big fan of Miley Cyrus, hey, more props to her. I'm not saying I don't like her. I would have been more apt to listen to more things if she just didn't go the direction she went. That's her choice. And her fans want to rip me and try to back her. I'm not going to argue with you guys. I mean, because I know some of the things I listen to and do, people ain't going to like. So,
exactly.
It's all respect. I mean,
it's all out of love, man. It's all out of love. Oh.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. We're going to be talking about the band Alabama. Country, definitely.
Not the state?
No, not the state. Although I wouldn't mind. I would like to go to Alabama one day. Huh?
Where is it the song Sweet Home Alabama?
No. But I would love to go to the state of Alabama one day. It'd be like my people or something. Anyway.
Go down there and there's just a bunch of Randys walking around.
Ooh, just imagine.
Oh, God.
That'd be a nightmare for Big B.
Randys and a lot of Matt Riddles walking around.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Anyway, they have 260 songs.
Just 260. Okay.
Which is a lot. I didn't think they had that many out.
I thought they had more.
They received their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in October 6th of 98. The top 10 list for them, which I'm surprised one song isn't on this one song, and I'll say what it is in a minute. But top 10 list: High Cotton is number 10.
Yep.
Number 9, Love in the First Degree. 8, Tennessee River. 7, The Closer You Get. 6, Mountain Music. 5, I'm in a Hurry and Don't Know Why. Number 4, Born Country. Number 3, If You're Gonna Play in Texas, You Gotta Have a Fiddle in the Band. Number 2, Dixieland Delight. And number 1, Song of the South.
Wow. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, this is probably a group genre that really any 10 songs you put in there, 100% nobody's going to agree on, but you can't argue them.
No.
I mean, there's definitely songs on there that I like that they're not on there. So, but
Yeah.
Randy, you said you had one that was shocking. What song was that?
Angels Among Us.
Yes, I would agree. I did not hear that one. And then there was another one on there. Oh God, now I can't think of the name of it. They did a collaboration with NSYNC on it.
I must have spent a little more time on you.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
Those
I
two
didn't-
songs right there are a big miss in my books. But again, I'm not going to argue with the list because I mean, there's a lot of great songs on there. I mean, Alabama's a great group, and
Yeah, it's difficult when you're talking about Alabama. It's difficult to just pick 10. I mean, they have.
I mean,
so
honestly,
many-
a personal favorite of mine is Cheap Seats. I like that one. You know, one because it's baseball, but you know, I just think it's kind of funny watching the video and listening, and you know, so there's 3 of my songs that weren't on the list.
Chris, I mean, do you?
Yeah.
I don't know how much Alabama you know.
I've probably heard one or two songs from them. I just can't, place it. But I mean, I like country and in bands and all that. So,
Now, this is a band, and you and I, Chris, mentioned it when we started the show. This is a band that I'm talking about that had great music, just great. When it comes to country, had great music.
Right.
And when you're looking at that, and you're looking at what they have now with country, is not no. Hey, there's Big B.
Hey.
But and I mean, do you agree, Big B? I mean, you look at, because I didn't get your opinion on it. You look at the music from back, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to now, and I mean, it's changed. It's obvious it's changed, but is it still good? Is it better, or has it gone downhill?
It's tough because back, through my years, each genre had, you had country. You only had singers that would do country. You had R&B, you had rap, you had rock and roll, you had the heavy metal stuff. And now, as it goes on, you got everybody collaborating with everybody else. That it's a country song, but they'll play it on the pop station. They'll play it on the rap station. You got a rap song that they'll play on country because, Florida Georgia Line's in it. Or so-and-so. So for me, I mean, the music now is still good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, if I turn on country, I want to hear Garth Brooks. I want to hear, all the other singers. Now you might hear Eminem rapping with, Billy Ray or stuff like that. And the song might be good. Don't get me wrong, but we don't have the genres that we have anymore.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like with when Taylor Swift was making the switch over from country to pop. I know they put country on pop stations and vice versa. So I can see
or else you had Aerosmith guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Steven
He tried
Tyler.
to do he tried to do a country, style song. You got Florida Georgia Line that, they're kind of in between, the R&B and stuff like that, or the hip hop or whatever, and then country. So they're gonna get played on most stations. So, it's hit or miss, and a lot of these guys now, I think we got a lot more one-hit wonders than we do back in the day. I mean, Vanilla Ice, Billy Ray are a couple that I can think of, but now it's like you hear the song, it's gone. You don't hear from the singer anymore. It seems like on some of these guys. So,
Well, I mean, are there even one-hit wonders anymore, or the title one-hit wonders like there was in the 80s and 90s? I don't even hear that anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's guys that get a good. I mean, Frankie Ballard. He had one good hit. I mean, he's still around a little bit, but you don't hear him playing anymore.
Smash Mouth. They had that one good song.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it all depends on what everybody consider, because you might consider something a one-hit wonder, but I'm like, God, these guys are great. I don't know why they're not playing more stuff. So
Yeah. All right, but anyway, back to this. Let's see, and the band members for Alabama is Randy Owen, Jeff Cook, Teddy Gentry, and Mark Herndon. They actually formed. They're older than I thought they were. They formed in 1972.
Okay.
Which I thought they formed, later, like early 80s, late 70s, but it was actually 72.
Okay.
They were first known as Young Country. Then they changed their names to Wild Country. Then finally in 1977, they changed their name to Alabama. So,
Okay.
and then Randy Owen, Jeff
So
Cook.
in 5 years, they had 4 different name changes.
They had 3.
3. Okay.
Wow.
And then Randy Owen, Jeff Cook, and Teddy Gentry are cousins who grew up in Alabama.
Makes sense.
And Alabama's first performance was in high school as a group that, let's see, they were in a high school talent show. They did a song by Merle Haggard and won first place prize, which was tickets to the Grand Ole Opry. So, I mean,
back then that was a big thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is.
I mean,
So these guys have been getting together since high school?
Yeah.
Wow. That's definitely a good run for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically you don't hear groups, they'll start in school and then they'll break off, and then, run their separate ways. But to be together for, what are you pushing, 40 years together?
Oh man, 77 to 2020. Yeah, 50.
50 years together.
Almost.
So that's definitely a good run. And, especially if they're all the original band members. I mean, that's talk about putting something together and sticking to it.
3 of them are. Their drummer is not. Their drummer came on about 83, I think I read. 82.
Yeah, that's still a good run for him though too. I mean, but
yeah.
Put a group together in high school and make it big. I mean, props to them. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. I heard something a while ago that they were cousins, but I didn't hear that they've been around that long. But no, I was bringing up that the whole, one of the best time with their songs in country, because that was the best time. I mean, the 70s, 80s, 90s, that's when country, in my opinion, was the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at all the names you had. You had, I mean, anybody from Alabama to Reba to Gart to Dolly, Willie Nelson. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
I mean, you had them all, and now you just, I mean, it's like what you said. You have collaborations of different genres.
Don't get me wrong, is not bad. I mean,
I mean, you look at collaboration now. I mean, Tim McGraw and Nelly, over and over again.
Which is a great song.
that was a good song. And then you got, Florida Georgia Line and Nelly with Cruise.
Yep.
So, I mean, it just, I guess it just depends on, I don't know. It's just,
No, I get what you're saying.
It's difficult to like the song, faster than it was back then.
Yep.
I remember, my mom was listening to George Strait a lot, and I'd even listen. She recorded George Strait album onto a tape like they used to do back in the 80s and 90s, putting it up to a recorder and playing it while it's taping it on the other tape player. But
the good old days.
Yes. Oh wow, I'm even aging me here. But so yeah, back then, Alabama was part of that group that will never ever get old, and I'll always listen to. What brought up the topic for Alabama was I was actually listening to them on the way to work last night in my car. So I mean, I'm like, hey, there you go. So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about then before moving on?
Nope. I'm good on Alabama.
Okay. And we're gonna actually do this day in music history because the week I couldn't find anything really for a week, but this day in music history, 1963, the Beatles recorded a had a recording at a television interview. Due to the excitement of a large crowd, they had to be smuggled out of their dressing room from another studio into an adjacent building through a tunnel just to get to that interview at a different studio. I didn't
right there. I mean, that just talks about how far music has gone. I mean, granted, there's still people out there that get the big crowds, and stuff like that. But to have to be smuggled in through the back building 2 blocks away to go through a tunnel, and I mean, that's saying something. I mean, I know celebrities try to sneak in and out of the venues because everybody waits around to try to get a peek of him. Be like, oh, I saw him. He waved to me. Blah blah blah. And that actually goes back to kind of, Prince. Because I worked at the airport here, and he would be one of the guys that would try to sneak through the airport without being noticed. He would have his bodyguards away from him, and he would try to, like, if somebody caught an eye on him, he would kind of turn and quick try to hide, so you kind of knew who Prince, if you saw that, you kind of figured, oh, that must be Prince. You left him alone because his bodyguards were nearby, but but yeah, to hear, I mean, Prince and the Beatles get smuggled, like 2 buildings away through the back door, through a tunnel, that's the way music was back then, or celebrity status, I guess, back then.
Well, and now, well, it, and the thing is nowadays it could be violent. The crowds could be violent. They have more bodyguards now. Plus, you have celebrities now that are like, I made me, God made me, but you guys didn't, and I don't want you guys near me, kind of thing. So unlike back then, where it's like a lot of celebrities are like, oh yeah, I'll shake your hand, I'll sign, and things like that. But nowadays, it's just kind of like, don't touch me, don't get near me, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 different kinds of celebrities. There's the ones that will embrace, what they got and be good to the fans and the people that notice them, and might strike up a little conversation with them. And then there's some that are like, their nose is up in the air, and I don't care if you made me, this is my life, and I don't want nothing to do to you, but yet then they want us to buy their things. So
well, and then in 1990, Rod Stewart had a lawsuit against him by a person because he kicked a football off stage and hit that person on their finger, which ruptured a tendon, which made
Oh.
things difficult in their life.
All I wanted is him to pay the medical bills. I don't need a lawsuit. You know?
Well,
And I,
And he probably did. Rob Stewart probably paid the medical bills, and took care of them. But, that's one thing. Some people want above and beyond,
uh-huh.
right.
I mean, go ahead.
In 1999, this is no surprise, Spice Girls were the top earners in the pop genre during the 90s with their debut album Spice, selling over 20 million copies, while Elton John was actually second with 14 million copies from The Lion King.
Wow.
So that actually surprised me a little bit because Elton John was pretty big in the 90s too,
Yeah,
especially with The Lion King.
Yeah, but you got Elton John, and then you got, 5, good-looking girls. I mean, you got the young, male in us all buying the Spice Girls CD and giving it to our girlfriends and stuff. And who's buying Elton John? I mean, yeah, it was Lion King and stuff, but I am shocked on that. But looking back and when they came out, I mean,
Yeah, I was a teenager, so I mean.
Yep. So was I. So,
but yeah, it just surprised me though. I mean, they beat out The Lion King, and The Lion King soundtrack was huge. So that's what surprised me. And then in 2004, Russell Jones, also known as ODB, and I can't say on the air what that stands for, especially the last letter. But if you don't know what it is, look it up. I just can't say it. He collapsed and died at a Manhattan recording studio at the age of 35. Supposedly, one of the studio producers mentioned before he died, we'll just say Russell Jones. Mentioned that he was experiencing chest pains, like he was having a heart attack, and then collapsed and died before the paramedics showed up. So, yeah, that was one thing that happened. But like I said, if anybody on here wants to know what ODB stands for, look it up. I can't say it.
yeah.
And then the last thing I got was in 2012. The Beatles collage that was reproduced and included copies of the Beatles' 67 classic Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band records sold for $87,720.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't care for the Beatles, and I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't care for the Beatles. But I don't understand why a collage for that record was $87,000, sold at $87,000. I don't get.
Randy, I'm with you. I'm not saying I don't like the Beatles. I mean, there's some songs I do get, but I'm not a big fan of them. But again, back in that day, I mean, it's not like nowadays where everybody's at the concert, got cell phones, we're taking pictures. I mean, typically back then, the pictures that we see, posters and stuff, are professionally made, and so if somebody got a picture of the Beatles and stuff, make a collage of it. There's collectors out there that are going to pay big bucks for that. I mean, Randy, that shirt you're wearing right now, if somebody wants it, they'll pay the money for it. I mean. So yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but you got to remember back when the Beatles were a hit, there wasn't social media out there. There wasn't people with cell phones. You had, limited cameras out there. So, if you got a good shot of the Beatles, doing whatever, that's money in the bank there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at wrestling, and how much people are willing to pay for something like Andre the Giant sign, sorted photos, and I
Well,
mean,
exactly.
$3,000, $5,000.
I mean, Randy and Chris. I mean, we're all
Huh.
wrestling fans. I know we're on a little different subject now, but Undertaker, you get an Undertaker signed picture, figure, hat, keychain,
Anything.
whatever. If you prove that Undertaker signed it, that's money because he did sign things. We know that. So, but
Yeah.
that's a different. It is snowing here, guys.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, I heard it's supposed to be. I heard it's supposed to be a
Yeah,
blizzard
welcome to
over there.
Minnesota, guys.
And then I got a few more that's under country.
Okay.
Let's see. 2001, Garth Brooks released Scarecrow, which was his 9th studio album, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, which is not surprising, and the top country albums chart. Again, Garth Brooks. I mean,
Yep.
one of the biggest country artists in history. And it was his last album for before he went on a 10-year hiatus.
Yep.
2003.
Well, he brought out that Christopher Gaines album, which flopped.
Yeah, that's the only thing that flopped. Only CD album that flopped because it was terrible. I heard one song from that album.
I don't think it was terrible. They made it sound not him. I mean, so that was the terrible part. But there's some good songs in there. I actually think I had the CD if I look.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. 2003, Winona Judd was arrested for drunk driving near Nashville after being pulled over for driving 47 miles per hour in a 30. After consenting to a breathalyzer, Winona blew a .175, more than twice the state's legal limit of 0.08%.
I think in any state, if you go over 1, it's you're going to go.
Again, it's just it's one of those things. You do something that enhances or fogs up your things. Don't do it.
Right.
Be smart.
And I mean, and plus her being a celebrity, some celebrities are like, I'll break the law, get a slap on the wrist, no problem, and then go on. So, and then the last one I've got here is from 2020, Doug Supernaw, which is the country artist who sang in '93. I Don't Call Him Daddy. Died at his home at age 60 from lung and bladder cancer. So,
did somebody else rephrase that song? I Don't Call Him Daddy. Didn't
I mean, there's other titles possibly with that name, but the actual song itself, I haven't heard anybody bring it up or reprise it.
I Don't Call Him Daddy. I can't think of the singer I'm thinking of. Who sings Red Solo Cup?
Toby Keith.
Yeah, did he sing that stuff too?
No, I'm the only. I just looked it up.
I'll look it up.
The only one is Doug Supernaw. But
okay, no, if it's the same song I'm thinking of, it might be a pretty good song. But anyways.
Oh, wait a minute! Back up. Hold on. Supposedly Kenny Rogers is who sang it first. Says it was originally sung by Kenny Rogers, but Doug Supernaw made it popular. So yes, Doug.
Okay, I will have to go check my fact. I thought so. Anyways,
But anyways, so yeah, and that's pretty much all I've got for history. I mean
all right.
that's pretty much it. Does anybody have anything else to mention?
So I got a quick question here. Since we're talking music, is there somebody you guys haven't seen yet in concert that you want to see, like your go-to or your bucket list? I guess. I mean, Chris, who do
Man,
you got? Who do you got?
in any genre.
You get one concert. Who do you want to see? Chris is thinking.
Yeah.
He's going to say the Muppets or something.
No.
Hannah Montana.
How about you, Randy? Who's the one? Who's like the one concert you're waiting, like you would pay? I ain't gonna say whatever it takes, but a good chunk. I mean, who would you go see
All right.
that you haven't seen, or you would see again? I guess.
I like
Randy.
Daughtry. Chris Daughtry.
Okay, Daughtry's a good one. I'd go see him. How about you, Randy? Who's the guy or group or
Oh man.
that you would pay almost next whatever it takes to go see him?
That's a tough one because there are so many
Okay.
in every genre. Man, the top one we'll just say country. Top one shared because I can't split them up is Garth Brooks and George Strait. I would love to see those.
I'll tell you right now, Garth Brooks, you pay whatever to go see him. I've seen him twice. Guy's amazing. Darius Rucker's another one that when Garth Brooks came to Minnesota the first time, he put on 13 shows in a 2-weekend span, 2 shows a night. I don't know how he did it. Watching his show and him running across, I don't know. I don't know how he did it. Great show. For me, there is one concert that I'm still waiting to see, and I hope I see it before she does pass, because I know she's not touring much, but hopefully she decides to come out for one more tour, and that's Dolly Parton. I've seen Kenny Rogers. I've seen Garth. I've actually, I know you guys probably don't know much, but I'm a big Boyz II Men fan, and I finally got to see them a few years ago, sat front row, and I would pay anything to go see them guys. Got to meet them afterwards, and that kind of brought my teenager out of me. So, but right now Dolly Parton is like the last concert like I have to go see.
Well, it's like me also. I was obsessed as a teenager with LeAnn Rimes. I'd want to see her in concert, as well as Sammy Kershaw.
Yeah, I was too, but I don't know. I don't know. Who else?
And Sammy Kershaw.
Who else did you say? Oh, Sammy Kershaw. Yeah, he was a good one too. So
I mean,
anyways, boys.
But anyway, I'm going to make my announcement, and then we'll go ahead and finish. I just want to put out there that Entertainment Hour is going to go through some changes. It's supposed to start within a couple weeks, I believe. I mean, Big B, maybe you'd be able to explain it better.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, just like any other broadcasting company or TV or whatever, we're going to kind of revamp a few things, not everything on Coast to Coast here. Possibly starting not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We're going to go into a 3-show rotation. It'll be Entertainment Hour, which we will replay on Saturdays, just so the fans know. We're gonna rotate it in with. We're gonna bring back our trivia show. You think you know, and we're going to bring back a roundtable. If you guys pay attention to that, that will take place after On Deck is last episode's this Tuesday. So the following Tuesday, we don't know what rotation we're going to have yet, but it will be Entertainment Hour. You think you know, and then roundtable. So we're just kind of floating around and trying to get views elsewhere and see what works. So we're just kind of revamping a little bit. And, you know, when baseball season comes back, we might have. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say, we're just seeing what works. And,
yeah, exactly. So we're just kind of. Yeah. So, I mean, we enjoy the views that we get here. Go ahead.
And Dragon Viper will be on those shows too. So just putting it out there.
Yeah. So, you know, so we're just kind of, you know, retooling things, see what works, and see if we get, you know, different people on different shows. And, you know, but we do enjoy everybody commenting, viewing. And like I said, Saturdays we will, you know, who knows? We might even do a couple episodes of Entertainment Hour. We'll do one on Tuesday, and then maybe the following week we'll do a live one Saturday. I mean, you know, we're kind of up in the air of what we want to do right now. So, but we will be moving at least every third week. Will be a live episode on Tuesday of Entertainment Hour on Tuesdays instead of Saturdays.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Big B, for that. Chris,
yeah, no problem.
You got 30, 45 seconds. Say what you want.
Thank you, guys, for watching, commenting, and all that. Tonight's going to be Sports Minute, and then tomorrow morning we have Morning Tailgate and Between the Ropes. So make sure to tune in.
Okay, good.
And we still got that music show too, Chris?
Yeah, I believe
we still got that music show too, right?
Yes, okay. We do.
For me, yeah, keep tuning in to Coast, and like I said, you know, we're going to start seeing Entertainment Hour on Tuesdays, followed by Tuesday Night Mania. Before that will be Joe Ann's show, Health and Beauty, or something like that. So again, you know, thank everybody for watching, viewing, sharing, liking. And just keep checking us out. Keep throwing out us ideas on what you want to see on the shows. You know, what kind of shows you want, and you know, we'll see what we can do about making it happen. It's all about you guys. We're here to entertain you and live out fantasies of, you know, hosting our own shows. So it's all about you guys.
All right, thank you, Big B, and like everybody else said, thank you for watching. You know, you got Krista, you have Lou. I know my mom Jean is watching this, and she's just.
Oh yeah, you better give a shout out to your mom.
Yep. Shout out to my mom. And thank you, Chris, for producing and being on here. Thank you, Big B, for being on here. And you know,
yeah, no problem.
Just pay attention, like everybody said, pay attention to Coast to Coast Network, different shows every day. So I hope everybody has a great weekend and has a good night, and we'll see you all next time.